Welcome to GREYS, your one-stop shop to finding winners across Australia from the world of greyhound racing. Host David Shortte is joined by Hall of Famer Neil Brown, Jason Campbell to look at Queensland and Tasmanian chasing, Sean Matheson looking at South Australian chasing, New South Wales expert Simon Orchard, and the Shane Train Williams rounds it out with his key plays and kennel mail in WA. Now, over to the team for this week's edition of GREYS.
Yes, hello and welcome along to GREYS on this Thursday morning. It is 2 minutes after 10 on the 10th of April 2025. David Shortte with you. Hope you're travelling particularly well. Got a busy program ahead of us. The Shane Train Williams about to catch up with us. We'll also hear from Jason Campbell, Neil Brown, get the latest in SA chasing with Sean Matheson, with, of course, gather round taking place over there in South Australia. Lots of activity there. And Simon Orchard will round out the program with a look at all things New South Wales chasing, with one of the programs of the year to look forward to there in his backyard on Saturday night at Wentworth Park. And there is a distinct WA flavour as well, with max capacity moving across to New South Wales for a tilt at this series for Peter Cameron and also Louis Clay. And stunning at its New South Wales debut there last week, winning a heat of the Association Cup. It's come up with box one in the final and looks to be a super chance. That's all ahead of us over the next hour here on TAB Radio. But let's catch up with our great mate, the Shane Train Williams. Hello, Train. How do we find you on this Thursday?
Yeah, good morning, Shorty. Good morning, listeners. Yeah, very busy, Shorty. Just come to an end my morning. Just finished coming home from trials at Geddington, and yeah, just literally walked in the door, mate. So good to be chatting with you. Excellent.
How were the trials this morning? You got any of the young talent emerging out of the trials this morning from your kennel?
There's a couple of nice ones there. They might not be too far off, but that's the thing, just educating them, getting them ready to get to the races. So, yeah, we might have a few new ones roll out in the next couple of weeks, Shorty, so that's really exciting.
That is exciting. Are they the new Rip and Memphis pups?
No, they're at the break-ins. They're at week 2 of their 4-week course, so I haven't touched base yet. I'll ring up on Sunday, or normally ring up at half-time and get an update on how they're going. But I haven't had a phone call my way, so that's good news, Shorty. I think if you don't receive a phone call, that means they must be doing everything all right. So I'm so far so good.
All right, that is good news. Also good news, last Saturday night there at Cannington, there was an excellent edition of the Lou Dawson Memorial Trophy final, and Rip and Moses ran a very good race, finishing third, set the tempo, but there were a couple of very strong dogs on its hammer, namely Bezecchi and West Ombooney, but I thought Rip and Moses stuck on very well. You've got the dog going particularly well over the last couple of months.
Yeah, he just didn't quite nail the start like he did the week before. He came out okay, and then he had to muster, and he chopped down on top of him and probably spent a few petrol tickets getting to the lead, but he was never going to be able to hold off dogs like Bezecchi and West Ombooney. So I did warn the punters last week that Bezecchi was the one to beat, even though Paul Stewart, the bad judge that he is, thought that the dog in 8 was the one to beat, and I'll give him a bit of ribbon about that too, Shorty.
One thing he did get right, though, is that Rip and Moses allowed Rapido Jedi a really nice run into the race. And to be fair, down the back, Rapido Jedi had sat in front of Bezecchi, but wasn't quite able to go on with the job. So he got part of it right. He certainly read the fact that Rip and Moses was going to give Rapido Jedi that lovely run over in the early stages, and that's what the dog did get.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I see he's stepped him up to the 600 this week, so that's a case for me that he's looking to try and get him on the bunny. So intriguing to see how he goes over 600, because as we've seen him, when he gets his own way in front, he's a 29.50 dog. So, yeah, it's very interesting to see how he goes on Saturday night over the 600.
Absolutely. Speaking of Saturday nights, huge night of chasing across there at Wentworth Park. What a huge thrill for Peter Cameron, Louis Clay and the team with max capacity. What a stunning effort taking out that heat of the Association Cup there last week for Pete Lagosiani in a really impressive fashion, 41 and 91. It's a superb performance, comes up with box number 1 and has to be a super chance of taking out the big one there for the Stayers on Saturday night.
Oh, so good to see young Lewis and Pete's put a lot of money into the sport, and he hasn't had a good dog for a little while. I think Vanderwarp, he's had some nice handy ones, but I think that real good dog Vanderwarp was probably the last good one he had. So good to see Pete and Louis with a nice young pup, and You'd think he's going to improve on that run there last week, Shorty. So very exciting for them to be heading over and have the favourite for a Group 1, and I'll be cheering as hard as I can for the dog on Saturday night, that's for sure.
Yeah, I'll be with you there, hoping that it all goes well. So good luck to Pete Louis on Saturday night there. Now, the Group 1 Golden Easter Egg Final, one of my favourite series of the year in, year out. Of course, the great Tommy Shelby was good enough to win this going back a few years ago now. Let's have a look at the final for Saturday night. Good Odds Cobbers come up with box number 1 with Tab Touch, now the $2.70 fave. Firm at that quote. Jungle Johnny from box 4 at $4.60. The boys had a chat earlier on today to the Gat Kennel and were very keen to get the latest there. But Mark was pretty clear-cut on his thoughts that Jungle Johnny, he would like to potentially miss the kick a little bit, gets late early, roll across and get up the track, and then see Jungle Johnny get that room into the first corner. He was really happy with the way that Reality Best is drawn in box number 2 with gets late early, likely to get up the track. So 1 and 2 well drawn, but exactly what happens with the speed it gets late early will be a big part of this race. So Jungle Johnny there $4.60, Lakeview Emily in 5s that same price, Power and Glory from 6 at $4.80, Big Energy the first of the reserves at $6, Kisses for Grand $7, then it's out to 21 for Gets Late Early, Reality Best 26, Tayamina 26, and the second of the reserves there, Tyler Fly High at $41. Good Odds Cobbers come up with a lovely draw.
Yeah, it's a very good box in a final, isn't it, Shorty? How many times do we say box 1 in the final? Frank Hurst seems to have the lucky knack of drawing the good boxes with this dog, and I think it'll be very hard to beat. Power and Glory, who we tipped out week 1, Shorty, at $12 to the listeners there, still got a slight hope of collecting there because Lakeview Emily in 5, to me, does look the leader. And if Power and Glory can come out okay, she might be able to get that good card across. And we did see Power and Glory pick Lakeview Emily up late in the stages in the semi-finals last week. So, she does look the leader for mine. And like I said, there's no disgrace to be run down by a dog like Power and Glory. He's an absolute beast when he gets it right. So, very, very open race. And like we've said, box 1 in a final. No, that's the reason why it's favourite. And you would think, Shorty, if he was to come out and win the egg, his price of $7.50 might get slashed in the Sandgroper.
Yeah, absolutely. And just quickly having a look at that particular price for the punters that have had a bit of a look there, the Sandgroper market as it sits now with Tab Touch, Explicit at $4.20, Miss Envy there at $5, Mapunga Tully at $6, Deadly Avenger at $7, Good Odds Cobber at $7. Tim Zoo is there as a $7 chance. Lakeview Emily at $7. Western Sydney, who we now know has got a slot at $8, and Kenya All Class there as a $10 chance. So can't wait for it, shaping up as being a spectacular affair. The Sandgroper, it'll be a beauty.
Yeah, with that news of Western Sydney gaining a slot, I think you can rule out Mapunga Tully now. I'm almost 99% sure that it won't be coming. So yeah, I think stay clear of that one in the pre-post and stick to the ones that have already got a slot.
Yep, so we've got Miss Envy, Deadly Avenger, Good Odds Cobber, Tim Zoo, Western Sydney and Kenya All Class, all locked away with slots. Explicit, you'd think if that trial goes okay, the fact that it's favourite and that Jason Thompson has a slot, you would expect that it would be there, but I guess until it's got the S next to its name, we just wait to make sure everything's 100% on song. But that would leave one other slot. Who do you think can get that other slot trained? Who do you think that dog will be?
Yeah, my male is Lakeview Emily. Will be getting a slot for the Ram Boys. So that's the male, very strong male. Seeing it firm up in the market as well. So I think they went over to Sydney for a bit of a weekend, the boys, with the cowboy hats on, and I think they might have done a deal there, but I think they might be just waiting to see how she comes through this Easter egg final. So I think you'll find Monday, I think Jason was trying his dog today, Explicit, as well. I know he's flying out Tuesday to come over, so you think by Monday they will all be done and dusted, Shorty, all the slots, so then we can, I suppose we've got to wait for the box draw, but then we can sort of dissect the race.
Like, regardless of the last two spots, we're going to have a wonderful race. So, Kenya All Class, such a strong dog, will be rattling at them late. West on Sydney, second fastest time ever here in WA. We know this dog's got a huge motor. Good Odds Cobbers, favourite for the egg. Tim Zoo, we do know recent form's been tremendous, and this dog smashed the line, similar to Hector Foley, who won the race last year. Deadly Avenger, Perth Cup winner, and Miss Envy, WA Greyhound of the Year. Holy moly.
Yeah.
What
you
sort
won't get
of
a better
race.
field. You won't get a better field anyway.
Oh, not a chance. This is going to be absolutely spectacular. We are so spoilt to have the calibre of dogs that have been brought together for this race. So I can't wait for it, and looking forward to having a chat to a lot of our special guests who'll be in town throughout the course of the period. We've got the big live broadcast once again out there at Cannington to look forward to on Sandgroper night. Can't wait to chat to all of the key players and keep all of our listeners up to speed with everything that is going on. It's going to be one of the great nights of chasing we've had for many, many years. All right, Train, that's the East Coast stuff taken a look at. We've also, of course, got racing happening there in the queue. I got set up beautifully by Peter O'Neill there, suggesting there were Q1, Q2, and then he rolled in the track out the far way that he stepped me into last Friday on Chasing Winners. It took me a while to twig what had happened there. By the time I worked it out, I was in stitches, so that was outstanding work from him. But this Queensland Chasing that you've seen, what have you made from the Q1 track to this point in time? Have you been impressed with what you've seen?
Yeah, I've only seen the Friday race meeting. I don't know if they've had one since, have they? But I've just seen the Friday meeting. It just reminds me of the old Parkland circuit, Shorty, which is what obviously they were trying to aim at, because the big sweeping turns, there was no interference. Every dog got their chance, and all them races are over the 390. So haven't seen the circle track yet. I don't know if that's race, but I've been pretty busy at home here holding the fort, so I've got to get up to date with what I've missed out on. But I did see that Friday meeting and looked like everything went ahead without a hitch.
Excellent. Looking forward to seeing more of the racing from that Q circuit heading forward. Train, let's see if we can't help the punters find a winner or two. We've got a very interesting card this evening at Mandurah. 12 races. First gets underway 6:50 WA time. I will say, as a greyhound lover, Train, things get a little more pleasant for us over here on the West Coast now that daylight savings is done and dusted, because so often we've been trying to keep an eye on all these meetings that have been going on over on the East Coast, and a lot of them have been finished quite early. But now with that extra hour up our sleeve, a lot of them don't start until sort of somewhere between 4:30 and 5 o'clock and go through till well after 8 o'clock, and allow us over here on the West Coast to get a really good look at them once we're home from work.
Yeah, 100%. And the phone doesn't go off as early in the morning as well, Shorty. That's another good thing. So, but tonight's card, nonetheless, is a bit of a tricky card, Shorty, but I thought I found a three there for the punters. We'll kick it off race 2, number 2, Springburn Lasses, dog trained by Gordon Hine, who's having a good run. He had a little sojourn from the industry, but he's come back and he won a race last night with a nice dog. Ferndale Fly is going to go places over a bit of a trip as well. I think this is the same little. This dog, Springburn Lass, race 2, number 2. Lightly raced daughter of a former Perth Cup winner, Vice Grip. She's only been to the races 4 times, Shorty. On 2 of those occasions, she's been victorious. And like we've already mentioned, Liver's going quite well. And I think with any luck, she'll be hard to hold out. Race 2, number 2, Springburn Lass, to kick us off.
All right, he's also got the second fave in the same race there, Blow Off Steam Gordon. So good luck to you, Gordon. Hopefully they both run well for you this evening. Or what about the second of your plays?
Yeah, race 8, number 2, Benny the Bull. Airborne and late, this dog. And I remember watching this dog go around in novices up at Northern when Kennington was shut. And I had a dog called Iconic Jet running around, and he was keeping up with him to the first mark. And I always knew this dog had a bit of ability, Shorty, going back that far. And I think he's just starting to put it all together now. He's won his last 2 starts, so both from wide draws. He moves closer to the fence tonight. And he strikes a race with not a lot of speed around him. And like I said, he's always had his fair share of ability, and I think he's really started to hit his straps the last 6 weeks. So race 8, number 2, Benny the Bull.
Benny the Bull coming off a couple of nice wins, and only 4 starts ago dropped to 22.46, which is more than handy for a Thursday night grade 5 lineup, you'd suggest. Race 8, number 2, Benny the Bull. And the third of your plays tonight there, Train?
Yeah, race 10, number 3. This will be the best, Shorty. Rocket Rod and Odin's Liberty Star. He's got this girl humming of late. She's won her last 2, and as we know, breaking the 17 seconds barrier is not an easy thing to do. And obviously, she's going up in the grades with each win, but them early splits she's produced, the last 2 are breathtaking, Shorty, and I expect her to go bang again here and get the job done and bring up the hat trick for the punters. So race 10, number 3, Liberty Star, the best.
Liberty Star, race 10, number 3, the best of the night for our man, the Shane Train Williams. Was there anything else you wanted to bring to the punters on this Thursday for the chasing either locally or on the East Coast over the next few days?
Oh, just them good Friday Cup heats are on Friday night, Shorty. They're outstanding. We have Curious Georgia. She's going to have a battle on her hands. She's got box 8 and there's real good dogs in that heat. So I'm just hoping she can qualify and draw a bit lower in the final next week if she was to get through.
Yeah, fair enough too. She was an excellent winner last week. You would have been delighted with that performance.
Yeah, no, she really was. She went in a little bit underdone the week before, and I knew she'd be a lot fitter for that run last week. And again, this week will be the same. But yeah, just concerning that draw. Jamie Marsh's dog dropped a 6-12 early there in the 5 box there. So she's going to have a work cut out crossing that.
Indeed, yeah, there's some hot early splits that'll be taking place in that race. But Curious Georgia hopefully can maintain that excellent recent form and do well. Good on you, Train. Great catching up with you this morning. Appreciate your time as always. Good luck with all your runners over the weekend.
Cheers, Shorty. All the best, punters.
There we have it, the Shane Train Williams joining us where it's now 18 minutes after 10 here on TAB Radio. Matty, our first race for broadcast still some 17 minutes away.
And that venue is Cairns Shorty, BR1, the favourite at $2.15 Coachman, closely followed by Sweet Candy, who's now $2.50 and then $4.80. Don't Leave Me Now. It's NTD, the first leg of the first quaddie at 10:35.
You're listening to Great Greys on TAB Radio.
Well, it's time to catch up with Jason Campbell, have a look at all of the chasing this evening up there at Albion Park as well as down in Hobart. G'day, JC. How do we find you this morning?
Yeah, very well, Shorty. How are you, mate?
Yeah, very well indeed. Thank you, mate. The sun's shining, beautiful day, lots to look forward to locally across here and likewise around Australia. Some really good chasing tonight. Take us through your thoughts for the program up there at Albion Park.
Yeah, good racing at Albion Park tonight. In particular, the first the first 3 races. We've got the Eric Thompson Memorial. This is where we see all of the sharper youngsters come through dogs for the future. So I'm going to head off to race 1 first, number 3, Bush Bouquet. I think she might be a dog for the future. I thought her run on debut had plenty of merit. She looked a little bit green, especially entering that first turn, and she kept with Hara's Katana, who looks a very nice prospect. She's racing later in the program, up into that home turn where she just died in her run. I think having that experience now under her belt, as well as the fitness benefits, she can find the front here and be extremely hard to run down the first race.
All righty, race 1, number 3, Bush Bouquet. You'd think there'd be a little bit of wattle involved there with Bush Bouquet if they were wheeling them out. On to the second of your plays there this evening at Albion Park, JC.
Race 5, number 8, Non-Stop Recall. I think the key to this race is the 7 here, Becky Dutton. She's had 22 starts for only the 3 wins, but she's been recently limping at Ipswich. So I hope she can get across this field. There's not a great deal of speed in this race. The third favourite, Howdy Hope, very similar record, 32 starts, only the 2 wins, drops back from the 600 metres, doesn't have a great deal of early speed. So I think Becky Dutton can spear across this pack, which does bring Non-Stop Recall into the race. He needs to begin. He is also a dog that drops back from the 600 metres. If he can just lob second Shorty entering that first turn, I think he'll be well home and hosed. He's a very strong dog, as we saw there, and he's got a nice future, only the 10 starts with 3 wins and 3 placings.
I like it. So the key just to get that tag over, sit nice and handy, and from there should be hard to hold out. Race 5, the Fairy Floss Runner, Non-Stop Recall, and rounding it out in race number 8 with your best bet on the program.
Number 3 here, Grey Villa. He returned from a 3-month break with 2 devastating wins, combined margin of 27 lengths, and he hasn't beat up no poor dog, Shorty. He beat Brunswick Fly last start by upwards of 10 lengths, and that runner is also in this race. He's had the 18 starts for the 8 wins and the 9 placings. So obviously a dog that's only missed the frame once in 18 starts in city racing. To beat him 10 lengths shows the class of Grey Villa. He's quickly becoming one of the more exciting dogs up in Queensland, and potentially he is a dog that could be the best dog up there in the coming months. So I think he is really well placed here. as I mentioned, he's obviously beaten up a lot of the dangers in this race by a long stretch last week. And the key to this race, there isn't a great deal of speed in this race, so I think he can get out in front and be extremely hard to run down.
Indeed, and hats off to for the Robinson kennel. Always had a nice dog over the years, the Robinsons, and looks like they've got another one here with a Grabilia. Good luck to them from box number 3 this evening. The best bet from our man Jace Campbell this evening at Albion Park. So we've got race 1, number 3, Bush Bouquet, race 5, number 8, Non-Stop Recall, and race 8, number 3, the very best of them. Let's head down to the Apple Isle in Tasmania at Hobart tonight. Are you looking to get in and out there down in Tassie this evening, JC? Take us through your plays.
Yes, 100% Shorty. Short and sharp for me. Race 1, number 7, Located. This dog once again returned from a 3-month break. Won well over the 461 metres, defeating the subsequent winner, Push the Button. Since failed over that distance, was a little bit weak to the line. Don't mind the drop back here to 340 metres. There's not a great deal of depth in this race, and just more so looking to take on the second favourite, Timeless Gracie. She's got a lot of ability, but she has a little bit more brains than ability, unfortunately, for her in connection with Shorty. Her first start, she looked all over the winner until she turned left and right in the home straight. Not sure if she's got over that. She's run tight placings since that run, so I'm not sure if she's all that keen to win. So I'm with Located in race 1. In race 2, I am with Fuel on 4. She was a brilliant winner at her second start at Launceston, won by upwards of 7 lengths in a really slick 29.76. I think she'll derive great benefit from her first outing at Hobart. Wouldn't say she had trialled there prior to that, just being 7 days between runs. I think she'll get a lovely cart across into this race from Times Flying, the Ted Medhurst runner, who's nice and fresh here, first up from a bit of a break, and she should prove too strong late in the piece. She's very well bred, Shorty, out of Hooked on Scotch and Just Browsing. She's a half to Browsing About, who's been a very good chaser down in Tasmania for a very long time.
Very nice indeed. So we're in and out with race 1, number 7, Located, race 2, number 6, Fuel on 4. The 2 plays tonight down there in Tassie for our man Jace Campbell. Big night of chasing Wenny Park on Saturday night, Golden Easter Egg final. Great to see a West Aussie in max capacity winning a heat of the Association Cup. Shapes up as being a stunning night of chasing there in your backyard on the weekend, JC.
Yeah, 100%. And not only did he win that heat, he's come up the favourites prior to, I guess, where all the money gets involved late in the piece. But he's currently around that $283 mark with Tab Touch. So, yeah, he's going to be extremely hard to beat. He's obviously drawn box 1. And you've got a pretty good field too. Late Night News has obviously been flying the banner for New South Wales across in Victoria and up in Queensland, and Apilla, a runner for South Australia there. So that's a good race. And obviously the Golden Easter Egg, as mentioned, our equivalent to, I guess, the Melbourne Cup. And even though we do have a richer race, $1 Million Chase, later in the year, this is the race that all the trainers target. And Good Odds Cobber, once again, comes up with box 1. And there's a few runners there for Mark Gatt in box 2 and box 4. Jungle Johnny, who's looking to make it, I think, is an 8 or 9 straight victory. He's absolutely flying, that dog, and he's a bloody good chaser. He's really strong and very tenacious.
Yeah, spot on. Really puts in big in its races and got good versatility as well. It's going to be a dog we hear a lot more of heading forward, that is for sure and certain. Tremendous to catch up with you, JC. Appreciate your time as always here on Great Greys. Have a wonderful weekend. We'll catch up again this time next week.
All the best, Shorty and punters. See ya.
There we have it. Jason Campbell, fine young fellow, is doing a great job with us here on Great Greys. You can follow his work at Campbell. Jason, there, good luck if you like him on Twitter. We're all of the latest. Does an excellent job there, and it's at Campbell, CampbellJayycin at Campbell Jason for all of his fine work on X or Twitter as it was previously known. We're now 9 minutes away from that next race. It is at Cairns. Not much else to report, Matty?
No, just the first leg of the quaddie. As far as that's concerned, $1.70, Coachman number 3. Still fixed elect. Did open 185, sitting at 215, just easing out a little to 270 now. Sweet Candy.
Excellent. It's time now to catch up with our Hall of Famer, Neil Brown, on this Thursday morning here on TAB Radio with Great Greys. He's been tipping in particularly good fashion. He joins us once again to have a look at the program tonight there at Sandown. And his Saints continue to tick over under the radar, now 3-1. And it's again, I'm pretty sure he'll play a nice straight bait, just 1 week at a time. Great big block down the middle wicket, but I'm sure he's happy on the inside. Hello, Brownie.
How you going, David? Beautiful day here in Melbourne, and looking forward to tonight's meeting. Yes, Saints going okay, just for the minute. Plenty of season left, though, David, isn't there? So let's see how they fare this weekend. But, we've got a great meeting, a very competitive heats of the semi-finals of the launching pad tonight. So really much looking forward to the racing coming out of Sandown Park tonight, David.
Big time, yeah. Some of the most talented young chasers in the land strutting their stuff. There were some excellent performances last week, and we get to see them butter up and go again tonight. All right, Neil, take us through your thoughts. Early quaddie races 1 through to 4, please.
Yeah, we've got the heats of the launching pad runaway, which is the consolation event for the main event, and I thought in the race number 1, I'm going to take 2, 6 and 8, got the 2 on top, Needful. No luck last week. Box 4, I think it'd be a better draw for it tonight. I think it's the 1 to beat. Race number 2, heat 2 of the runaway. I'm taking 1, 8 and 6 here. I think Come to Party is the best drawn of these greyhounds. It can begins, had 4 wins here, has won in 29.40, got it on top, the red. Race number 3, heat 3 of the runaway. I've got the 4 here. It's a massive scratchings here. It's a little trial of 3 runners, and the Western Australian looks very hard to beat. Malata, and I think 29.41 winner here. Start before last, and a 3-leg will just take it on its own. Number 4 on top. And race 4, here we've got a mixed 4th and 5th grade over the 5.95, and I think 1, 2 and 8 of the greyhounds to beat. I've got Navarino. He's been very consistent. Not much between 1 and 2. Poor Octavia, I think, is a very good chance in the race as well. The Red's in great form. He's just won 3 of his 4 in the best of the night. So we'll take 1, 2 and 4, but not much between the top 2. On to the main quaddie tonight. First semi-final of the launching pad. Race number 5. It's a very good race. I'm going to try and find this quaddie in 3 in each of the legs. 3, 4, 1 for me on top. I think the market's probably got it right. She's That Girl. Missed the start last week, which was uncharacteristic for it. It was a solid effort. It's in very good hands. Peter Lagosiani, I spoke to him at length last Thursday night. He's got a very big opinion of her, and I've got her on top to win. But certainly, Wyong Dallas has done nothing wrong. Good beginner, and has won 7 and 7 from 14. It's right in this from box number 4. Good beginner does come out of a box, and the red is going okay, beaten less than a couple of lengths last week. Quick early, it's got box 1 tonight, and I think it's got a good chance. 3, 4 and 1 in race number 5. Going to, that's right, David, aren't we? Yeah, we're going to race
Correct.
Number 6. I was getting ahead of myself. Second leg of the launching pad tonight. 6, 8 and 1 here. I think the 6 is the one to beat. Bebop Jazz, very impressive winner last week. Same draw, has won here in 29.11. Couple of starts back. I think it's the one to beat. Got an empty box on its outside. I know the reserves come in Sweet B, hasn't it? So it hasn't. So it's a full field here. Race and number 8, I think solid in the heat behind Gambella last week. Needs a bit of luck from the 8, but certainly a chance in the red. Marrakesh is well drawn. It's a little slow out, but has won a couple here, and heat run was okay. So 6, 8 and 1 in the second leg. Race number 7, semi-final number 3 of the pad here. 6, 2 and 4. I'm going to stick with Gambella. Outstanding. Her last couple, 29.04, free-for-all class. Had to work hard last week, 29.32 from the 8. Definitely the one to beat. Number 6, Gambella. The 2's got a chance. Don Gala Jesse, quick early. Looks the leader here from 2. Hasn't done much wrong. 5 and 5 from 11. And it's got a chance in the race. And number 4, solid winner here, Dashing Sleigh. I think last week, 29.56, has to overcome box number 4. So 6, 2 and 4. Rounding the quaddie out, race number 8. Semi-final number 4. I'm going to take 4, 2 and 8. I'm going to take Tribeca again. It missed the start last week after beginning 4 in a row, all winning in fast time. Another chance still still there for, I think, for Tribeca to win tonight. The 2 Irish Bill, big motor, this fellow. Doesn't really come out of a box. We haven't seen much of him in 3 starts. He had to work hard. They knocked back $100,000 for the dog. A fellow director of mine and a prominent vet here. So they're in it for the fun, aren't they? With Irish Bill, so he's a chance. And the 8 was a top win last week. Shimmer Stan from box number 8 begun very well, and it's got plenty of ability. 7 and 2 from 14. So we'll take 4, 2, and 8, which brings me to my best bet, David, and an absolute standout. I do declare I've got an interest in this dog, but race 10, number 8. I've specced him all over the place. We've got $2.45. He's come in a bit from now, and that's Bagman. Absolutely on fire. Went like a jet at sale, 23.96. They rarely break 24 down there. He's come back in good form after 2 or 3 months off. He loves the track. 6 and 11 from 23. He's won 5 dead here early. It's a field of 6. I think he looks well suited. Bagman, our best tonight. Race 10, number 8. So good luck and good punting at Sandown tonight, David.
Beautiful, and with a bit of confidence. I like that. Race 10, the Fairy Floss Runner Bagman, named after, of course, the bookies from years gone by, the old Bagman. And let's hope that for Dawn Johnson, Brownie and the Ruby Syndicate, that the Fairy Floss Runner can salute race 10, number 8, the best of the night for Neil Brown. Let's get around Bagman for a big result there in the free-for-all over the 515 metres. Beautifully done, Neil. Appreciate your time as always. Have a wonderful weekend upcoming, and we look forward to a chat again this time next week.
Look forward to it, David. Thanks, mate.
There we have it. Neil Brown, our Hall of Famer here on Great Greys. It is right now 33 minutes after 10. Means that we're about 90 seconds away from our first race for broadcast of the day here at Cairns. Having a quick look at that market. It's a field of just 5 runners. So we've got Coachman, $1.85, got as big as $2.15, back to that opening price. Sweet Candy, $3.10 into $3. Don't Leave Me Now, $8.50 into 6. Hitched in Manhattan, $8 out to 11. And Keep the Wolves Away, $6.50. It has been the easiest of runners, out to $15. So Coachman at $1.85, the odds-on favourite here for race number 1 of the day at Cairns. Matty, I might throw back to you. We'll get this race done and dusted, and when we're done there, we can catch up with Sean Matheson to have a chat about all things South Australian greyhound racing.
This is your home of the greyhound good oil, Great Greys.
Where it's now 23 minutes away from 11 o'clock. Time to head across to South Australia, have a chat to Sean Matheson. No doubt there's a wonderful vibe where he's at the minute, with the gather round about to take place across there in South Australia. We've heard lots of very positive reports as to the amount of atmosphere and visitors in town in SA at the moment. Sean can let us know exactly how it's tracking from his perspective. Welcome to you, Sean. How's it all going over there?
Yeah, hi David. Yeah, great to be on the show again with you today. Really exciting from anyone who's interested in sport. Gather around here this weekend. So it all kicks off tonight with the Crows against Geelong. But to have so many, I suppose, footy and sports fanatics in the city is wonderful. Obviously, Adelaide Oval's the centre of all that, and so close to the city as well. But because all of the games venture out to other parts of this beautiful state, certainly plenty of footy fans far and wide. So it's really exciting times. A real buzz, as you mentioned, here in Adelaide.
Yeah, that is the truth. So looking forward to seeing lots of activity all over the weekend, and also, of course, hopefully that knocks on to see some good crowds at greyhound racing at the different meetings that are going on around the place over the next few days. Let's get your thoughts, though, for tonight there at Angle Park. Another tremendous program to look forward to. Easter Cup action for the punters to get involved with. Also some of the top grade sprint stuff's elite tonight. Who do you like?
Yeah, so the first, David, of my best bets will come up in race 3. And just for the listeners, this is our match race series on the program. It features 4 two-dog matches. And the best bet for me for this event is number 5, A Fire, in the overall time standard. So the winner of the overall series runs the fastest time. And I think A Fire, who was matched up against our reigning greyhound of the year and Fantastic Spike in match number 3, which is going to be just a wonderful lineup. But if I was drawn the inside, went 30-18 only a couple of weeks ago, produces anything like that from the inside, I think it can produce the fastest time for the overall series win. And it is quoted around that $3.40 mark, around that sort of price for the overall. So I reckon that's a terrific bet for him, because I just think he leads, and I think he will be too strong for Fantastic Spike.
Very nice. Race 3, number 5, A Fire, $3.60 on the fixed odds with Tab Touch. On to the second of your plays. Second
of the best bets will come up in race 8, and it's number 4, Lincoln Girl for Cameron Forshaw. And Lincoln Girl's, she's quoted at $3.70, around the second line of betting, and she probably would have been the favourite had she not missed the start last week in running second. But anyone who saw her performance last week, she came out, but she stumbled just on the matting, found herself a long way last, rounded the field to run second. I think with a cleaner start here, there'll be certainly sufficient speed in the race, so she'll just hopefully land third or fourth with a good beginning. She's shown on her past 4 wins that she has a terrific mid-race and ladder race acceleration performance. So expect her to be closer tonight and be extremely hard to beat down the front straight the last time.
Very nice. The very much in form Lincoln Girl, race 8, number 4, had won 4 on the bounce prior to finishing runner-up last time out, and a good price at $3.80. Race 8, number 4, Lincoln Girl. And the next of your plays there, Sean?
Next of the plays is on an each-way basis, and it's in race 5, and it's number 6, Yarramundi Paul for Vadim Roz. Quoted around that $26 mark, David, which is certainly one of the outsiders of this event. But Yarramundi Paul's had a month off racing, had been running in our Masters events, and did win a Masters event 4 starts ago. This event's over the 595, which at his absolute best is his pet distance. I think here, with being fresh, he should hopefully land a bit closer. There is going to be plenty of speed in this race, so I think he'll just be able to hopefully just pop across onto the rails midfield, and the best part of his race is his last part. And as mentioned, the 595 is a really good distance for him. So I think you're getting a bit of overs there at the $26, but I think he can definitely run top 3. Again, it just needs to be close enough, and I think fresh he can get home.
Even bigger now on the fix with Tab Touch, 31 and 4. So great each-way play at the value punters. Step in, race 5, number 6, Yarramundi Paul, 31 the win for the place. You don't have to have too much on to find out there tonight. And if the dog does happen to race well, it's a nice big juicy dividend coming your way. Race 5, number 6, Yarramundi Paul each way. That's race 3, number 5, A Fire. Race 8, number 4, Lincoln Girl. Race 5, number 6, Yarramundi Paul on an each way basis. Also got chasing Gawler Friday, Angle Park Saturday morning, and Murray Bridge on Sunday. How are we playing those meetings?
Yeah, so plenty of racing here in SA. So tomorrow at Gawler, just one for the listeners. Race 7, number 5, Keely Rose for Tony Lagana, has been running at Angle Park, mixing her distances over the 595 and 530, goes back to the 400 metres. She's broken 23 seconds there. I said box 5 won't be a worry, a vacant box on her outside. She's got enough speed there, so I think she can possibly lead there, and definitely a winning chance. On Saturday morning, the time graded for the morning meeting, I like race 10, number 1, Whiskey Roll for Don Turner. Missed a start from a wide draw last week and ran home really well to run third. Much better drawn off the red, so it'll be really hard to beat on Saturday morning, race 10, number 1. And then at Murray Bridge on Sunday night, I like race 3, number 1, Michaela's Joy for Dave Peckham. Only had 2 runs for Dave from his southeast kennel. He ventures up to Murray Bridge on Sunday. She ran 4th in a heat of the Mount Gambier Cup, and then won last week in a graded event over the 500 metres. 5:30 at Murray Bridge. Looks a really nice race for her, and she should lead there and be really hard to beat. And David, just to mention, you might touch on it anyway, our SA bred dogs are doing a wonderful job, and definitely on the national stage. We see Dashing Sleigh going around in the semi-finals of Launching Pad tonight, which is really exciting. And then on Saturday night at Wentworth Park, a pillar for Damien Smith steps out in the Group 1 Association Cup. So wonderful chances there on the national stage for our SA-bred chasers.
Exciting, isn't it? It's great to see when dogs from some of the smaller states head across to Victoria and New South Wales and Queensland and fly the flag. So good luck to those South Aussie runners over the weekend. Sean, great catching up. We appreciate your time. Enjoy Gather Round. You getting along to any games over the next few days?
I can't get there tonight, but I was hoping to get to the game. I'd love to go to the Port Adelaide Hawthorn game because I reckon that's going to be one not to miss in the final round of Gather Round. So I'll just have to make a few phone calls to some of those Port Adelaide supporters that might be able to get me a ticket.
Yeah, you're a pretty well connected man. I reckon you'll be able to get along to that. Should be a beauty. The Hawks and Port Adelaide to round out and Gather Round. Good on you, Sean. Appreciate your time as always, mate. Have a ripper weekend.
Thanks, David. We'll talk next week.
There we have it. Sean Matheson with us there. Maddie, we'd have the dividends from race number 1 at Cairns, and the first race of the day at Gosford some 9 minutes away now.
Now at Cairns in race number 1 of the day there, it is released. The winner, Sweet Candy, 281.20, Coachman 170, no div for number 5. Quinella 220, Exacta 630, Trifecta 1930, 7351 first 4. That was a return of $36.50, sub 3 scratchings of 2 and 4, and Toad is paying. In race number 2, $1.75, Glad Ragdoll is the favourite there. And the first at Gosford in 8 minutes at 5 to the hour, 2:35. Meet Me in Bondi remains fave. The next best is Antilla Capra at $4.20. First leg of the first quad in 8 minutes.
You are tuned into Shorty and the team on Great Greys.
Where it's now 14 minutes away from 11 o'clock. Time to see how things are shaping up across there in New South Wales. Simon Orchard joins us ahead of one of the finest nights of chasing on the calendar each and every year here in Australia. It is Golden Easter Egg final night. We've got the Association Cup final to look forward to for the stayers with some WA flavour there. We've got the Ambrosoli final to look forward to where Big Energy will be going around along with Sunset Hornet as two of the key plays. The Masters final. You name it, it's all covered on a stellar 11-race program. The Ultrasense finals there as well. I've probably missed a few others. I think the Magic Maiden might be thrown into the mix. It is just one of the most spectacular cards of chasing on the calendar. And the man to help talk about it, Simon Orchard, now joins us on the program. Welcome to you, Simon. No doubt the excitement is really building. What a night of greyhound racing to look forward to there on Saturday.
Yeah, you've hit the nail on the head, Shorty. Spot on, mate. Not only do we have the Easter egg worth $300,000, the Group 1, we've got the only Group 1 at Wenty Park in the Association Cup, and there's storylines all throughout all the major races on the night, mate. Everywhere from the Magic Maiden, where we've got a couple of tour dogs for Andrew Rowe, who's been battling a really bad back injury. He's got 2 chances at taking out his first ever group race. We've got interstaters coming from all over the country to try and take home our riches as well. Spoke to Rebecca Edinburgh this morning, who's got I'm Sally in the Association Cup. It's been 16 years since her hubby won the Golden Easter Egg, Rod McDonald with Dana Beatrice. So that's a great yarn as well, mate. Looking forward to everything that's going to happen on Saturday night.
Yeah, I've enjoyed your work too on Sky in recent weeks. Been doing a great job covering all of the action there, Simon, as well as the dogs.com.au. So many different places to follow the greyhound racing, which is sensational for the sport. Great opportunity for people that really love it to get that more detailed look and analysis of the different races as we go through. Why don't we start here, Wentworth Park, Saturday night? We'll get your key plays and then we can work back to some other venues where we might be able to build a bank for the big program.
Yeah, of course, mate, and feel free to throw your tips in here as well, Shorty. The Easter egg itself, look, I don't know how you can go past Good Odds Cobber. He's drawn the red again. Frank Hurst was dancing on Tuesday night when he pulled the lucky cherry out. It's the 4th time in 4 group races this year, and the way the race sets up, Shorty, gets laid early, jumping from box number 3, who wants to get off the track just a little bit, I think really opens up that big saloon passage for Cobber on the rail. A lot of the speed out wide. Lakeview Emily, 5.35 to the first mark. Talmina, Kids for Grand, they're all going to be coming across, but I just think it suits the Cobber perfectly. He's going to join the $1 Million Earners Club if he gets up in the final. It's a race that the camp have been targeting for about a year's time. Last year they went through the New Sensation. They avoided the egg, and now this year...
Oh dear, I think we've just lost you there, Simon. We might need to do a similar trick to last week, see if we can get you to do a bit of a wander around and maybe rejig on that particular phone line we've got at the moment. It's a bit of a shocker, so hopefully we can get you to just peel to the left or right a little bit and we'll try again. So we've got in the feature race 8, number 1, Good Odds Cobber as the first of our plays. Anything else to add there? No, sounds like we might have dropped out. So second week in a row, not having much luck there with that line for our man Simon Orchard. We might give him one more call and give it another try, but if that drops out, we might have to opt for what we did there last week and get him to fire through the tips to us on the SMS to pass on to everybody. Apologies there. But that line didn't look much good. I'll leave it with Matty for a moment. He can keep me posted with how that's all shaping up. From a WA perspective, that Ambrosoli final, Big Energy at $2.50 on the fix from box 3. Paul Petrov from box 1's a $3 chance. Sunset Hornet, $4.80. Paul Quan at $8.50 into 8. And then we've got Sammy Ethan, $9.50 and firm at that quote. We've got him now back online, hopefully a kinder line this time around. So we had Good Odds Cobber race 8, number 1 in the feature. What else did you have to join Cobber on this big 11 race card?
Yeah, hopefully a better line now, Shorty. I like Late Night News in the Association Cup, mate. Box 6, a dog that's been around Wenty Park a stack of times. We saw him go through that Country Classic series, and he was so good behind Jungle Johnny. Not many dogs in the country could almost run him down. So I like race 6, number 6. And you mentioned off the top, mate, a couple of WA dogs going around on the night. I actually really like Big Energy to just pip Sunset Hornet in the Ambrosoli. Flying Zulu's come out of that race, so box 5 becomes From the East. From the East wants to get off the track, which means those dogs to the inside are going to be really favoured. So I think Big Energy can win, but I think Sunset Hornet can run a bold race in race number 7 on the card as well. So best bets, Good Odds Cobber, race 8, number 1, the Association Cup, Late Night News, race 6, number 6, and the Ambrosoli, I like Big Energy, race 7, number 3, on the biggest night Chasing's got here in New South Wales.
Spectacular. That is 667381 for a Saturday night there at Wentworth Park. Prior to that, lots of chasing going on around the state of New South Wales today and tomorrow. Anything else of note there for the punters, Simon?
Yeah, hopefully build a bank tonight, Shorty. Wenty Park, race 5, number 4, All Champagne for Peter Sims. And race 9, number 2, Zipping Marquez for Minnie Finn. If you want to have a play at Dapto, haven't checked the prices on these ones, but race 3, number 5, Aria's Dream, and race 6, number 8, Blazing Cash. They're the 2 best bets at Dapto tonight.
Magnificent work. Where can we find your handiwork on Saturday night?
Mate, I will be trackside doing pre- and post-race interviews across Sky. But make sure you tune into thedogs.com.au for any extra bits and pieces that we throw up as well. Looking forward to it, mate. As I mentioned, apart from $1 Million Chase Night, which obviously has a bigger prize pool, this is the one that all the historians, it has all the prestige. This is the race that people grow up wanting to win. So we cannot wait to get trackside for the Eag on Saturday.
It's going to be spectacular. Can't wait to soak it all up, and good luck to all of the West Aussies that are across there in New South Wales for Saturday night. Wonderful catching up with you, Simon, to yourself and everybody at the club. I know these are the nights that you'll work so hard towards, so wishing you all the very best, mate. I hope it's a wonderful evening, and looking forward to your company again this time next week.
Yeah, we'll fix the phone line. Cheers, Shorty. Hooray.
Good on you. Thank you, Simon. There we have it, Simon Orchard with the latest for a big few days ahead in New South Wales greyhound racing. Matty, that brings to a close Great Greys on this Thursday morning. We're only some 90 seconds away from the next race for broadcast here on TAB Radio at Gosford. Meet me in Bondi. Wouldn't be a bad spot for a quiet sip on this Thursday afternoon around lunchtime. 265 into 260 for that particular galloper. Antillo Capra is 370 out to 420. Sharon Drive, 6 into 5. Eclair Awesome, 5 out to 6. Devil's Daughter, 8 out to 850. Equilibrist is 11 to 23. Phoenix Power, 20 to 26. And the outsider of the field is Hotchie, which is 34, as big as 41 now, $31. So a bit of specking there for the outsider of the field. That's Race number 1 at Gosford, it's some 54 seconds away. That is Great Greys done and dusted. If you missed those tips on the way through, I'll post them up onto the Tab Touch blog, and also putting the finishing touches on our Attack blog piece, which will also be dropping this afternoon ahead of Gather Round across there in South Australia. So plenty of content. If you're looking to have a punt on the Greyhounds or the AFL, keep your eyes posted on the Tab Touch blog this afternoon. Matty, as always, magnificent work from you, great man. To yourself and everybody tuned in, wishing you a wonderful Thursday.
Thank you, Shorty. See you tomorrow morning, hey?
Look forward to that, mate. Chasing winners from 9 o'clock, where we'll be teaming up with Jesse Earnshaw and Peter O'Neill.
What are you really gambling with? For free and confidential support, visit gamblinghelpline.org.au.